Hey guys, MPTV, Matt Piper, the soccer mentor. How you all doing? Sorry, I've been away. Where has he been? Where has he been? He has been on holiday in Barcelona. Me and the wife, nice little trip. Highly recommend it. Anyway, on to business. Now, I intended to make a video straight after the England game because, like everyone else, I wanted to air my frustrations. I wanted to cane the manager, I wanted to butcher the players, but I thought I'd take a little bit of time to reflect, and it always brings me back to an argument and something that I wrote a few years ago about the England team and why we never perform, in my opinion, in high pressure situations, i.e. tournament football. And listen, there were so many things that went wrong, and I watched the game just like many of you would have, and I was thinking, what is Roy Hodgson doing? What is he doing? What is Joe Hart doing? What were the most of the England team doing? They didn't. Everyone said it before. You've heard all the experts talking about it. It's not just me. The team. One of the big things that I put on Twitter that I think is important to talk about. It's not the main thing I want to talk about, but one of the things that we need to talk about that the England team lack hugely, and have done for many years, is identity. By identity, how does your team play? How are you setting them up to go and use the attributes of the team to go and win the football match? Or what is the philosophy? From a young age, within England, how do we best play football? You know, you look at the Spanish now for the last few years, all right, they've gone out, but they stick to their identity. They play to their attributes, and their identity in Spain is tiki-taka football, keep the ball, short little passing movements until you can open teams up with high possession of the football, short, sharp passes with very technical players. They stick to their identity. They play it whether they win, lose or draw. So that's the Spanish for you. You look at England, this is why I come round to identity. You look at England, we haven't got an identity. How do we play football? Our managers over the past few years just pick the best players on offer and think they can just send them all out. That's not managing. They just think they can send 11 players out and then players are going to go and do something. That's just hope. That is not an identity, a way to play. For me, rightly or wrongly, but if I was England manager, I'd play with wingers. I'd get crosses into the box. I'd stretch the pitch nice and wide because we were found wanting against lesser sides that had a structure. They had a structure, they sat in, they put 8, 9 men behind the ball, and we couldn't break them down. And we couldn't break them down because we kept trying to go through the middle. We didn't have any wingers, we didn't take any wingers. We took Raheem Sterling, and for me, a good manager would have pulled him out after the first game and said, Raheem, listen, I can see you struggling with confidence, the pressure on your back, the whole of England is on your back, mate. I'm going to pull you out of it. I'm going to pull you out. I'm not dropping you, I'm going to pull you out, buddy. I'm going to save you from this massacre that is coming because you're low on confidence, and it's alright saying, you'll be alright. I've seen all his teammates putting their arm around him, don't worry about it, just go out and make it happen. But when you're in that kind of thought process and nothing's going for you, I felt sorry for him. I know he's on £50 million a week and he should be doing better, but in here, it weren't happening. So a good manager pulls him out and says, listen, your tournament's over, big man. Just stay, support the boys, but I'm not going to put you back out there in the firing line. Shocking management. Keep trying to give him a go. Same with Harry Kane. Weren't happening for him, whether he's had a long season, whether he's not, I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't happening for him. Psychologically, he was absolutely gone in that first game, you could tell. Mate, I'm not playing you. Put someone on there who's hungry and determined, a will to win, just won the Premier League. Put someone on there like Vardy who's going to run all day for you and make chances happen just from his tenacity. Daniel Sturridge, mate, listen, massive technical player, really like him, to be honest, Sturridge, but he was playing the game like he was on a beach in Brazil. He could have had a cigar in one hand and a pina colada in the other. How slow he was trying to trying to do his tricks and his skills, and how slow the game went when the ball went to him. You know, there's a few that I could pick out that I thought did all right. Eric Dyer, Kyle Walker. No one really played well in the last game, but up until then, I thought Kyle Walker was having a half decent tournament. Eric Dyer, Adam Lallana, good technical player. He's not really got the speed to go by anyone, but a good technical player that I thought had done all right. Got bombed for the last game. Rashford comes on, looks dangerous against Wales. Comes on against Slovakia, looks dangerous. Comes on and he only gets 4 minutes in the last game when we need a goal. Listen, I don't know what it was. Roy Hodgson. I mean, you got clever people in there. If you're Gary Neville, and from listening to him on Sky and really respecting his opinion, surely with 30 minutes to go, you say, Gaffer, listen, we got to put Rashford on. We got to make something happen in this game. Harry Kane was having an absolute shocker. That fourth official who stands on the touchline next to the goal, Harry Kane nearly killed him 3 times from misguided free kicks and shots. Shocking. One free kick he had, he kicked it like he did not know how to kick a football. Like he had no technique or no desire to hit the target. Shocking. Screwed it. It was just, his technique was all over the gaff. And I ain't really never seen that from Harry Kane. So what that tells you is psychologically the boy is struggling. All over the pitch, psychologically, I think we looked weak. And that's where Iceland destroyed us. Psychologically, they looked strong. They went down to a goal early doors. So did France in the game with the Republic of Ireland. But a strong mentality and belief in your own ability is what gets you back into games. And this brings me on to my second point, that this is the problem with football in this country. In my opinion, we're creating players that don't think for themselves. So once you put them out there on a football pitch and things start going wrong or it's not happening for you, everyone's looking at everyone else. Well, what the f are we going to do now? I don't know what to do. It's all reactive football. Oh, someone's made a mistake over there, so I'll act now. Instead of, listen, it's gone 1-1, it's gone 2-1, we're losing at half time, let's go out and let's play like this. What I mean by that is, someone goes and be proactive. Go and do something, go and make something happen by a dribble, a closing down, some high energy on the pitch. But psychologically, now people, these footballers will always say, oh, the pressure on us was unbelievable. And a lot of fans are coming out and say, well, you get paid millions of pounds a year to play this game, so you should be able to deal with that. But what we've got to do, we've got to sit back. And I'm afraid it's not a quick fix. You can't just get a new manager in that absolutely changes the whole philosophy of this country and the culture of football in this country, because that's what I think is needed. You need to find your identity as a nation and play like that from the younger levels all the way through, all right? And we play to our attributes. And for me, the attributes in this country are using wingers, get the ball wide, get runners in off and around the forwards, get the ball wide, stretch the pitch nice and wide. It creates more space in between the defenders so we can play in and around and in between lines. We can get wide, we can get crosses in the box, flood the box with plenty of players and try and create chances that way. That's the way we did it in '96 when we had our last half-decent successful tournament. All right? That's the way. First of all, you've got to find your identity. Second is the psychological side, and why do these players get to tournament football and high pressure situations and they can't deal with it? Now my answer to that is grassroots football coaching in this country, we're still using terms. All my kids play football. Some of the coaches that are coaching these young kids, the most used phrase in this country is get rid of it, get rid of it. Creating panic in young players from a young age, and that stays with you. You've got a manager on the side, you've got all these parents, get rid of it, kick it out. The kids are getting the ball and it's creating high pressure situations back then, and they don't like the feeling of it. A kid don't like that. You go and watch the Spanish coach at young age, grassroots. The Spanish, the Germans, the Italians, they're all laughing at us. They laugh at how we are in this country. Because all we emphasise on, listen, if you're going to be a sportsman, you've got to have the desire to win. But that's got to come from within. It don't come from the sidelines, or it shouldn't come from the sidelines. All right, if you're going to go on to be an elite athlete, that desire to win has already got to be inside of you. So we don't need to try and drill that into them by saying, get rid of it, man, we need to win this game. It's a Mickey Mouse under-7s game. Don't worry about it. All right? Let the kids play. Let them find out for themselves on the pitch, and that's the only way you're going to create proactive players. Because all we're doing in this country at the minute is creating robots. I see these kids all the time, because they're berated from the side, they're in a high pressure panic situation and they don't like the feeling of it, and it stays with you. Throughout your career it stays with you. Even if it's subconsciously, it takes you back from that time when you're a young kid and you're trying to play and you're getting berated from the side over an under-7s, under-8s game, creates that high pressure panic-ridden football. We're growing up in this country with panic-ridden little footballers because of how we are and the culture of our coaching on the sidelines. Parents, young grassroots coaches. Don't get me wrong, there's some good ones out there, but most of them, this is what I see. Get rid of it! What are you doing? Ah! Oh, panic-ridden. Ah! I don't know how to deal with the ball under pressure. The other thing that they do is shout out on from the sideline, or the parents do, what the player should be doing. Player receives the ball, gets it out of his feet. Pass the ball! Pass the ball! Shoot! Man on! You're giving them all these instructions from the side. You're creating little robots, which in turn creates a reactive footballer, not a proactive footballer. These kids have got to learn the game and find out for themselves. Alright? That's why I believe my coaching is successful. Alright, not just me, there's good coaches around. But let the kids play, let them enjoy it. Let them have plenty of touches on the ball, let them find their mistakes for themselves. And then pose the question after the match, when the pressure of the match is gone. Let these kids find out for themselves and then pose the question after the match. Little Johnny gets the ball, he takes a touch, he's got plenty of space in front of him, so he moves into it. And you're thinking, as a coach, I'm thinking, brilliant, good lad, now what? He beats one, good. There's someone in a passing position though. Has he seen it yet? Has he seen it? This is what I'm saying to myself. I'm not shouting pass the ball at him, because then I'm telling him what to do. That is creating a reactive footballer, not a proactive footballer who's going to think for himself on the pitch. Alright, so I'm just posing these questions in my head, and mentally I'm putting it down so I can ask him the question after the game. There's a man open. That's really his best option. He's beat another man. Well done, the man's still open though. Is he going to give it now? Tries to beat another man, gets tackled. From the sideline, most coaches, what are you doing? There was a pass on. Ah! Panic-ridden football. Alright? What we should be doing as coaches, noting that down. Okay, it didn't happen for you that time. After the match, little Johnny, when you beat the first man, did you pick your head up? Did you have a look? No, I didn't, coach. No. But if you did pick your head up, what do you think you might have seen? Oh, I might have seen a man to pass. Good lad, well done. Now they're starting to think for themselves and learn the game through their own play. Instead of you guys out there telling him what to do, alright, and then berating him when he don't do it from the sideline. That's not coaching. You're just shouting abuse at kids and creating that panic-ridden football, and we are not creating in this country proactive players. And proactive players go on to think for themselves on the pitch and work out dilemmas while they're on the pitch. We can't break this defensive block down of Slovakia. What are we going to do? I see half of them looking towards the bench like they're still a young kid. Well, come on, Gaffer, shout something on. The culture needs to change in this country before we are going to be successful at the higher level. We're knocked out of another tournament by a team like Iceland, and listen, I'm not digging out Iceland. Fair play to Iceland. I thought they played really well. They knew their identity. They came and executed superbly against the poor England team. Individuals, we got good players. As a team and psychologically, we were absolutely shocking and we crumbled. Let's find the identity and the way to play our own style of football. And if it is moving the ball from the back to the front quickly, getting it wide to wingers, loads of men running off them, or high fullbacks, or however we are going to play as a country, we need to do that from the young age all the way through. So once these players, and we need to create proactive players, and once these players get to that level and they're playing there, they can work these things out for themselves on the pitch, and they're comfortable at receiving the ball in high pressure games or situations on the pitch. Until that happens, we're just going to keep getting knocked out of tournaments left, right and centre. And we're going to be paying millions and millions to the new manager through the door over and over again. And it's just a merry-go-round that I don't want to watch no more. As an Englishman who represented his country at under 21, it's depressing. And it's time, maybe, to put some ex-professionals in at the high standard of the FA and move some of these old dinosaurs out that just think chucking 6 million at a manager a year is going to change it, because it's not. Sorry if this turned into a rant, I don't know how long it's gone on for, but that is what I think, and the culture to coaching in this country, and the embarrassment that was the other night of getting knocked out by Iceland, a country that is doing the right things. 300,000 population, and they came and they slapped us. Guys, I'll see you all again soon.